All right. Virender is going to do the start here. He says, hi folks. Hey, Akshay, please. Hi folks, see Rachana Ranade here. And I welcome you all to a brand new video. I love this comment. I think that tells me that you are following my videos to the T. Makes me feel happy. Well, so we are going to kickstart today's session. But before that, let me welcome all new members. Shri Kumar, Vishnu, Akil, Priyo. Welcome to memberships. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy this entire membership experience. Oh, Papa Shango is saying, hi folks, I was busy watching Indian team celebrations. Oh, yes, of course. Ardent followers. I know. Okay. So today, as usual, we are going to discuss two things. First, we are going to quickly understand the impact of JP Morgan bond inclusion, number one. And number two, of course, Nifty levels, going to take your questions, all things like we do in every Thursday live stream. So first and foremost, I'm sure, I got a lot of requests asking that what is this news about Indian bonds being included in the JP Morgan's government bond index, which is the emerging markets index, GBIEM. So I'm just going to say GBIEM. Okay, so this is like the government bond index, emerging market of whom? Of JP Morgan. Thank you. So what we have done is Indian government basically was pitching for the inclusion of our bonds since 2013. हो पण माझाच आवाज मला खूप ऐकू येतोय. My husband is watching this live stream on television in the next room, so I'm able to hear my voice as a rebound. So I asked him to lower down the volume. Okay, anyways. So going back to the discussion, we have been trying to include our bonds since 2013, and ultimately in 2023, September 2023, the news came up that yes, there will be an inclusion of Indian bonds in the JP Morgan's global bond index, emerging markets. Okay. Ultimately, it was in June 20 on the June 28th, just hardly barely a week ago, that the final execution was done. Okay. Now, important point is what will be the weightage of Indian bonds in this fluctuation, right? So give me a second, right? Okay. So the overall weightage of our Indian bonds is around 10%, which is amongst the highest weightage in this specific index. So if I were to quickly share my screen, so give me a second for that. Now if you see here, India has the highest weightage here at almost 10%. China is also similar with 10%. Indonesia with almost 10%. Mexico is actually 9.9 something percent. So all in all, yes, India has got a very good weightage here in this specific index. In fact, we are the ones who got added on 28th June. We got included in the second decade. Which countries were included at launch? They are in pink. So all these countries were a part of this JP Morgan's emerging market bond index since launch. At least in the second decade, but India's bonds got included. Now, first and foremost, you have to understand what we mean by a bond market index. We have not talked about this till date on our channel. So very important concept coming up. Next 2 minutes, I want 100% attention. So like we have an index for stock markets, we have Sensex and we have Nifty, which are the most commonly tracked indices for our stock market. We have different indices for bond markets as well. Okay. And one such bond index that we talked about right now is the JP Morgan Emerging Market Bond Index. So just a simple explanation. Like we have indices for equity, we have indices for bond as well. And so like we have 50 companies in Nifty, but these are corporates. Companies are a part of Nifty 50. Will companies be a part of JP Morgan's Emerging Market Bond Index? No. Companies are not going to be a part of that. Government bonds are going to be a part of JP Morgan's Emerging Market Bond Index. Chalo, clear. So basically, this is a bond index. Number one, understood. Number two, this bond index is going to track what? track certain bonds. Which bonds? Corporate bonds? No, it's going to track government bonds. Okay. Which countries are included? For that I showed you the map, in which India has the one of the highest weightages, 10% weightage. Okay, simple till here. Now we have to understand that what was the big deal? I mean, if JP Morgan has included our name in their bond index, what's the big deal? Are they the only ones? Is this the first time? Yes, right now it's only JP Morgan. But let me tell you that Bloomberg has also announced that it will include India's FAR bonds, basically. So let's not go into what is FAR and all that. So you can just imagine, like JP Morgan has already included Indian bonds. Similarly, Bloomberg has also announced that it will include India's bonds in their Bloomberg Emerging Market Local Currency Government Bond Index. When will this happen? That will start happening on January 2025. So first JP Morgan, then we have Bloomberg, and as per SBI research, even FTSE Russell, FTSE or FTSE Russell is also planning to include Indian bonds on index. So it's really going to be interesting, and if that be so, we would be seeing a huge inflow of funds. Now, why? Like JP Morgan has already included us in the bond index. As I mentioned, even Bloomberg is including. Good. Why was I so excited about FTSE Russell? Because overall, this is like 6 times larger. I'm talking about FTSE Russell. That's like 6 times larger as compared to JP Morgan Global Bond Index Emerging. It's a huge name. JP Morgan Global Bond Index Emerging Market. Okay, index. That index. Okay. So you can imagine, if that happens, can we get a huge money inflow in India? Answer is obviously yes. Okay. Quickly tell me. Think logically. I'm just going to quickly throw some questions. You can give your answers in yes, no in the comment section. Otherwise, just give answers for yourself. The moment our government securities or our bonds are included in the part of index, let me also check. Chalo, you can give me answers. What happens if our bonds become a part of some index? Let me see if anyone can answer this. So if our bonds become a part of JP Morgan index, JP Morgan's global emerging market, the big name, right? So what was the big deal? Can anyone tell me what will happen? It's a little bit big answer. That is the reason why I'm not sure if anyone is going to answer that in the comment section. Inflow, markets will rise, we will be strong, FII investments, right? But the first thing is that, see, if it is included as a part of index, any mutual funds which are passive mutual funds and which replicate that index, they will also have to change their investments accordingly. So please understand, here's a debt mutual fund. Okay, they replicate what? They replicate the index. Right now, the one that I mentioned, JP Morgan ka Global Emerging Markets Index. Okay, so this mutual fund replicates this index. Now, if this index includes Indian bonds, I want a yes or no answer. If this index includes the Indian bonds, will it be mandatory for this mutual fund to buy index, to buy the bonds in the same proportion? Yes or no? So one more time, this mutual fund is a passively managed mutual fund. This fund replicates the JP Morgan Global Market Emerging Fund. If the index includes Indian bonds in its index, okay, with a 10% weightage, will the mutual funds have to copy the weightage? Yes or no? Oh, kya baat hai. I'm getting quick answers for this. Yes, 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 for sure. Yes, yes, yes. Very nice, very nice. Okay. Now, will this increase the demand for Indian bonds? Only if they're fully replicating them. That has to happen. If it's a passive fund and if that is a benchmark, they will have to replicate. They'll have no choice. Okay. Will this increase the demand for bonds in India? And again, the answer is yes. Now understand that if the demand for our government bonds itself increases, typically what happens is that now, because a large number of global investors will be really wanting to invest, ultimately it happens that, there's a big chain, but ultimately you can understand that the overall cost of borrowing will also reduce. So if you were to quickly understand the chain, it will go something like this. Indian bonds ka demand will increase. If demand increases, the price of the bond increases. If price of the bond increases, ultimately the yield on that will decrease. This is too much of economics, I know that, and I'm sorry for that. But those who did not understand, I'll repeat this chain if you want. If the demand for Indian bonds increases, what will happen is the price of this bond will also increase. If that be so, always remember price and the, I know there are a lot of terms involved, which is like interest and coupons and YT, yield to maturity, yield, so many things. But just to, I'm not going to the T, but just for your simpler explanation, I'm telling this, that if bonds increase, the overall yield will decrease. Okay, in simple words. Forget all of these things. If this sounds like very scary economics, uh, because I'm not using the exact terminologies as well. I know that, right? So all in all, just to tell you that if the overall demand increases, the rate at which India will borrow funds, that is going to go down eventually. Okay. If that be so, even the fundraising by Indian companies will also become cheaper, and this will be a good sign overall for the markets. If you're able to borrow at a cheaper rate, we will be able to use this money for some infrastructure spends maybe. Okay. And all in all, there are a lot of bonds which I'm discussing right now. A lot of bonds are also denominated in the Indian rupees. Now again, I want a quick answer. Majority of these bonds are denominated in the Indian rupees. If that be so, and if, let's say, investors from the USA, they want to invest in these bonds, what will they have to do? They will have to sell US dollars and they will have to buy Indian rupees. One more time quickly. If majority of the bonds which I'm discussing right now, I already got an answer. Fantastic. US investors who are wanting to invest in these bonds, let us say, they'll have to sell the US dollars and they'll have to they'll have to buy Indian rupees. And I immediately got answers. Yes, rupee gets stronger. One more, rupee gets stronger, rupee will strengthen, rupee demand increases. Kya baat hai? Rupee gets stronger. Fantastic. Badhiya. Fantastic. Okay. Okay. Welcome to membership, Sanu. Value of rupee increases. Rupee gets stronger. Kya baat hai? USD value decreases. Absolutely. So all in all, I hope you have understood that rupee will strengthen in this whole scenario. So all in all, if our bonds are being included, so number one, are we getting some foreign inflows? Yes. Number two, अभी तो पार्टी शुरू हुई है. Why am I saying that? Because the actual execution, the first step happened on June 28th. And what I read is Goldman Sachs Group, they had mentioned in one of the reports that they see at least $30 billion or more of inflows in coming months in India's, because the weightage currently is at 10. It may keep on rising, and they are saying that $30 million on an average is what they can see flowing into India. By the way, already they have invested around $10 billion. So that's a big one already, right? So just to give you an example of how much is being invested, I'm just going to quickly share my screen again. This is the last part, absolute last part. So have a look at this. If you see here, this is September 2023 and this is June 22nd, 2024. This is the latest data, right? So almost like 9 months ago and today. Now, if you see here, 0 to 5 years ka bond, 0 to 5 years ka bond. This is what investors are, foreign portfolio investors holding FAR bonds. Okay, basically Indian bonds we are talking about. Okay, foreign portfolio investors holding Indian bonds. This is what you can visualize. Okay, we are not going to go into details of fully convertible bonds and this that, right? Fully accessible route के through ये मिलने वाले bonds होते हैं. Anyways, so 54% was the weightage of 0 to 5 years, went down to 49%, went down to 43%. But if you look at the 10 years plus bond, this is the 10 years duration, 11% was in 2023, 13% in March 2024, 17% May 2024, and 18% June 2024. So all in all, with this, what can you understand? That overall, what is happening is that foreign investors who are wanting to invest in India, they're saying that we understand the power of India. We acknowledge that, and we are ready to bet on it for even more than 10 years time frame. And that is the reason why the bonds of more than 10 years time frame, that holding percentage is growing and growing and growing. So definitely a good sign. So happy that with this, it will be a good sign overall. We will get some foreign fund inflows, and that will definitely impact us positively, right? Any quick questions on this? Did you understand this concept? Happy to answer your questions. Okay, Amit has a question. With reducing bond yield, will it increase inflow in equity markets? Possible, yes, definitely. But understand this is just like one of the kind of bonds. It's not like all bonds together. This is like the 10-year bond that we are discussing. So just don't make a flat conclusion based on that. Will this eventually have a positive impact on the market? Answer is yes, definitely. In that case, IT will get affected, right? As the major revenue comes in US dollars. Achha, please understand, rupee strengthening is not going to happen overnight. Okay. We just now mentioned that how much is the inflow that has happened till now. It's roughly $10 billion. And I'll be honest with you, that's not a big amount. Okay. $10 billion for people like you and me, that's like a huge amount. But for the rupee to strengthen like significantly, that's not a big amount. Okay, it will take time. क्या बात है शिवम is saying आज लग रहा है 12th में कॉमर्स लेना सफल हुआ. Very informative. क्या बात है शिवम. Absolutely. Harvinder is asking, will the inclusion change much for Indian economy? To what extent, I'll tell you. Because of the inclusion, will we get foreign funding? Yes. Will that increase our will that increase our capital receipts? Yes. And whenever we calculate the fiscal deficit, to some extent it will have a positive impact on the fiscal deficit as well. Okay, but let's not go into that much details. It'll have a positive impact on the overall economy also. All right. Will there be a downward correction in our current account? Not in the current account. Current account deficit is different. Okay, that's only about the goods. This is not about goods. This is about the borrowings that we are getting. Okay. No, I don't think it will have a direct impact on gold. All right. A lot of economics just happened right now. For those who enjoyed it, I'm happy for you. I could see a very funny comment right now. Jay Gokhale says, felt like watching a Nolan movie finance theme. Will get it completely on second watch. So in simple words, Jay, what happened is that Firang institutes are now interested in buying Indian bonds. They are interested in our economy. They have included our bonds in their index. Will this attract a lot of foreign investors in our country? Yes. Not in the equity markets we are talking about, but in the bond markets. Will we receive a lot of foreign inflows? Yes. Will that be a good sign? Yes. That's it. Okay. Even if you understand this much, it's more than enough for now. Okay. And if you've understood this, absolutely, इसमें तो like तो बनता है यार. And I'm happy that at least someone has talked about the likes. Oh, Jay has also understood. Jay has said, woohoo, very nice. पवन से कॉमर्स का हूँ, समझ गया, फिर भी इकोनॉमी वाला कोर्स ले लूंगा. क्या बात है. So yes, Pawan has also done some marketing for my course, Economics for Stock Market. So we do have a separate course on Economics for Stock Market as well. You can check out our website. But today, I think I have something more interesting to announce as well. I had gotten a lot of requests wherein people were interested to know how do I do the analysis of stock of the month, right? I hope you have checked out the stock of the month. I've declared that on the 1st on our channel. And generally, we release the stock of the month on 5th of every month. This time, as an exception, we are going to release it on the 10th. Okay. But many people wanted to know from where do we get this information? Which pages of annual reports are to be read? Which investor presentations should we ideally refer? A lot of questions are asked by a lot of people. So this time I thought that I should do some activity through which you should be able to understand how do I actually do research of all these stocks. And for that, something really, really interesting is what me and my team have come up with. And this is going to be a part of our Invest in India community. If you were to join this community, you are going to get some amazing points. So here, basically, you can see that we have announced a Pro Researcher Challenge. Now, what is this Pro Researcher Challenge? We are going to give you a stock, okay? And you will be given 10 tasks. You will have to do the analysis of that stock, but we are going to help you out in that process. So, for example, we are not going to tell you read the entire annual report. No, I'm going to tell you read page numbers, let us say 110 and 111 of this annual report. We'll give you the links. Okay. Then let's say number 2, I will tell you that, okay, go and read the investor presentation of this company. But like, even if it's like a 20-pager document, I'll say, okay, read page numbers 5 and 6 at least, and then complete your research. So I'm going to give you 10 tasks, and this is going to be your Pro Researcher Challenge, which is going to be a part of our Invest in India community. In addition to this, which is going to happen this month, one more very interesting guest session that is going to happen this month is going to be on the 3rd Saturday on the 20th, where we are going to invite a chartered accountant who is a guest speaker at CNBC, and he will be a guest, and he's going to give insights on budget. He's going to discuss some budget stocks. He's also going to talk about the budget. So if you want to understand his view on which could be some budget stocks, then definitely you can consider joining our Invest in India community as well. The biggest challenge, to be honest, that we were facing was that the community pricing was in US dollars. There was a reason for that. Initially, a lot of people from even outside, I mean, majority of the people outside India were joining this Invest in India community. But then eventually I understood that, okay, a lot of Indians are also interested in joining this community. So we have given access in multi-currency right now. So if you are wanting to join from India, you finally have an INR pricing on our community. Plus, we are also offering monthly and yearly discounts. Pooja, if you can just paste the message, you can use the code RR20 for monthly membership, and you can use the coupon code RRGIFT30 for yearly memberships. So Pooja, please paste the link in the description box. So 3 new things. Number one is that we are going to run this Pro Researcher Challenge, wherein you are going to do the research of pro investor stocks. Okay. Number 2, Pooja also paste the link of this page, our Pro Investor, our Invest in India membership page. Okay. So that's the number 1 great news. Number 2 great news is that we are going to have a chartered accountant who is also a guest on CNBC Awaz, by the way. So he's also going to give a lot of insights about budget and budget stocks. And number 3, a lot of people actually gave this as an input that no, we can't do the challenges on a mobile screen. Reading documents on the mobile screen becomes a little bit challenging. So finally, we have our challenges on desktop. That was the most demanded request, and finally the tech team has come up with it. So 3 amazing insights on our Invest in India community. Very happy for that. And Ranjit ji, right now we are not disclosing his name. We are, I mean, we are still getting his photograph and this and that. So we'll be publishing it on the Invest in India community. We'll disclose it in the next live stream maybe. But as of now, I've not disclosed his name. So it's a surprise. Okay. But I've given 2 hints, chartered accountant, and he comes up on CNBC Awaaz as a guest many times. Okay. All right. So this was about the Invest in India community. I'm sure you'll get a lot of insights. Definitely, you can consider joining this community, and don't forget to use the coupon code as well. Okay, now let's come to our questions. Kya baat hai? Dinesh is saying I'm 65 and commerce professional. In spite of that, I bought FA2 and technical analysis course now and completed a couple of chapters of FA. Kya baat hai? I think it's amazing. At the age of 65 also, you're wanting to learn newer and newer things. Great. Amazing. Pawan says, ma'am, I see HIL March quarter results always boom and fall in next quarter. Is this time of profit booking? I always believe that if you're a long-term investor, I think defense is a space. Exactly. I mean, even Mazgaon doc today, Mazgaon doc or whatever. Okay. I think the defense sector is complete re-rating scenario. The whole sector, I mean, every single time you look at stocks from this sector, you feel that, array, they have run up so much. Is this the right time? They have run up so much. I think I should wait and then maybe think of investing in it. They just don't stop. They're just going up and up and up, right? So this is going to be a very interesting time in the entire defense space. So don't be bearish on this space, at least. Even if you feel that they have gone up crazily, okay, fair enough. They have gone up, agreed. But that doesn't mean that you should go bearish. Always in technical analysis, this is the thumb rule. Don't go against the trend. Question, are you seeing a reversal? If yes, you can go ahead and book profits or quit or whatever. Okay. But if you feel that no, there are no signs of reversal just because it has gone up, I'm scared. That's not the case. Either your target should be hit or you should see some signs of reversal. Then it makes sense to quit the stocks and shift to other stocks, right? TARC Limited, breakout in daily time frame, your view for next 3 months. TARC Limited. Okay, 1 minute. Never tracked this stock. Okay, kind of a breakout. I'll share my screen also, yes. But I've never checked the fundamentals of this stock, disclaimer. So what is he referring to a breakout? So maybe if you see here, okay, or if I even draw parallel channel quickly, that will suffice. From here, maybe, I'm not drawing this properly. Just a rough range, right? Just a rough range. So you'll see here, it was in this channel. Did it break out? Yes. There is a breakout, clear breakout. But again, always I say that there are 2 chances: breakout and it just keeps on going, or breakout, retest and bounce. 2 possibilities are possible. Ashish says Atul Limited breaking trend line. Okay, let me check. Atul Limited. Which trend line? Oh. Arre baapre. It has been in a downtrend since such a long time. I go. Arre. So if I were to draw a long-term trend line from here, maybe. In fact, if it's like this long-term, then it's very close to a big resistance. If it's able to cut through this, fantastic. In a shorter term, if I were to do this, something like this from here, then it has already broken out and also retested. Okay. But again, I've never checked this stock fundamentally again. CDSL has given a breakout and it's retesting 2200. Will it be good time to accumulate? I'm just going to tell you what's up in the chart. Whether to buy, sell, that's not what I tell anyways, right? So I want an answer from everyone now. Because here we are to learn, correct? So if you're here to learn, you should be able to understand quickly. I remember doing this analysis some time ago. The weekly chart pattern. Let me share my screen. Fatafat, in next like 30 seconds. Can you see a chart pattern here? I mean, it's a no-brainer, I know that. Plus, this is a very nice candle. 17% up on a weekly. Good volumes building up as well. Very nice volumes building up here in this entire run. So it's a dry spell. Chalo, answers quickly. Flag and ball, flag and ball, flag and ball. La 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 la. Kya baat hai? Kya baat hai? Very nice. Correct. ACC, inverse head and shoulder, weekly time frame. I love these questions. ACC. In a weekly time frame. Inverse head and shoulder. Yes. Yes. Let me share my screen. Very good. Who's that? Manish. Shabash. It's good when you do your homework and when you just come here on the stream to ask. It's the shoulder, the head, shoulder. But again, had it been like a downward trends first and then this, wow, it would have been way more effective. But nonetheless. But careful, it has not yet broken outside the neckline. A bit careful. Okay, it should break outside the neckline. Sukanya saying, "Man, happiest mind. Kab khoon kholega iska?" Happiest mind is very sad. Let's see what's up with this chart. I loved your comment, and that's the reason why I took your question. Happiest mind. Kab khoon kholega iska? Oh God, it's in a sideways trend since such a long time. So if I were to quickly draw trend lines also, something like this, and on the downward side, something like this. Selling is also big. It has to break out. Till then, it's like just wait and watch. Can't help. Oh, I did not share the screen. One minute. That's what I drew just now, right? This is the kind of a resistance, kind of support. It's just not happening. It's not breaking out right now. So wait and watch. Testing your patience. Khoon nahi khol raha iska. Okay. I was about to just click one and just went off. Prasanna, REC next support. We haven't talked about REC for a long time. Let's check REC. Oh, today also it was up 2.3%. Nice. Okay, today I didn't find time. Okay, I can see that I've already done some analysis. It's a long-term up flag, what I can see. And up flag in the shorter term is what I can see. You can see here, there was a run up. There was a consolidation. It's a nice breakout. and it's just going higher and higher. That's REC for you. Support wise, if I were to quickly check pivots, no, the pivot is at 500 and what, 18? 513. I don't think it'll come. So this is what level? 525 is the upper flag. No immediate support. The support is at a pretty lower level. Oh, is that so, Pawan? Infosys 50 DMA cross 200 DEMA from below. Let us check. Let me put the 50 DEMA line and where's my 200 DEMA line? That's it. Nice. And Sahi Jawab. Again, that's a very good sign as per technical analysis. The 50 DEMA line crossing the 200 DEMA line shows strength, which is coming up in the stock. And even it has crossed the 150 line as well. Kya baat hai? Kya baat hai? Good analysis. It's just facing a little bit resistance here. So if you see here, this is kind of a choke point, right? So if I were to just draw a line here, R2 basically, it needs to close strongly above R2, and it'll be fun to watch this stock. If you have seen my previous video where I talked about, I think it was the previous live stream only, where I talked about 5 TA stocks. In that, if you remember, was it my previous live stream where I talked about 5? When had I done it? Was it my birthday? Oh, I didn't share the screen, is it? I think I did. Did we discuss 5 technical analysis stocks? I remember doing it. I did talk about Infosys. I did talk about C Infosystems, which was MapmyIndia. Screen nahi share kiya tha. Sorry. I'll share it again. Don't worry. When had I done it? If someone can please tell me, was it? Oh yes, there is on my birthday. Yes, of course. So if you remember, we had discussed 5 stocks based purely on technical analysis. Birthday, yeah. And we had talked also about one stock which was MapmyIndia. No Infi. Achha, I just thought I talked about Infi. Okay. But did I talk about MapmyIndia also in that? I think I did. So I'll quickly show the price action in MapmyIndia also. Yes, people are saying yes, you did talk about MapmyIndia. Okay, let me share my screen. Oh God, so many things on the screen now. Okay, so this is where we were talking about that. Yes, it's taking a very nice support at 200 DEMA, 150 DEMA, and see those nice green volume shoots. Okay, post that we did see some sort of selling pressure, and today have a look at the stock, up by almost 5.3%. So again, some action popping up in the stock, 5.3%. So again, those who have not joined our Pro Investor memberships yet, we have already covered this as one of our Pro Investor special stocks in this year itself, in 2024, and where I've discussed the whole business model of this. Kya baat hai? Reliance, MapmyIndia, TCS, Wipro, and FL. Thank you for that. Oh, NBCC rounding bottom breakout in daily chart. Let me check that. NBCC. Let me share my screen first. Wait. NBCC. And we are checking for a rounding bottom. It's not a rounding bottom per se, because it has to be in a very longer time frame. But yes, I mean, Bhavna Potslia. Okay. Or I may also say this is like a cup and handle, like this, but no, cup and handle also has to be more in a downtrend. there's no name for this, but yes, I can say that because typically, rounding bottom ideally should have a much longer time frame than this. Okay. So good. Yes. I agree to this that it has broken out. And how? Good volumes. Fantastic volumes. Who was that? Vipin. Good one. Yeah, exactly. He was also talking about the same stock. Deepak, NBCC cup and handle one day. Good volume, technically. Fundamentally sound stock question. I have not checked it fundamentally. Okay. This is also an epic reaction. Man, they're trying to see the screen from the reflection of your spectacles since you forgot to share the screen. Kya baat hai, Jumper? Loved your comment. Okay. Subrata is asking, Madam, are there any other factors to be considered besides higher AUM, low expense ratio, high traded volume, low tracking error, and reputation of the fund house while selecting the best gold ETF? I think this should be good. Whatever you have written is a very good explanation. I don't think if it's a normal gold ETF, right? Whatever parameters you have discussed are good enough. All right, just one or two quick questions. Ma'am, your views on HDFC Bank all-time high today. Quarterly results were how to compare company. Of course, I mean HDFC right now is in a good mood. अब उसका खून खोल रहा है in the language of one of our viewers. Feels good because HDFC has a huge weightage in Nifty, and if HDFC keeps on firing, then of course being a heavyweight champion in Nifty 50, it will help the Nifty to go higher and higher, right? JBMA cup and handle pattern in weekly time frame. JBMA. Let me present my screen. JBMA. In weekly time frame, you say. Yes, but no breakout. Have to have a breakout, right? If you want to draw from here, it's like a cup, like a handle, but again should be ideally in a downward trend to be more effective, right? Not yet broken out though, so careful. All right, one last question. Oh, Nifty levels. Yeah, I mean, no levels for Nifty right now, to be honest. Simple reason, it's just going higher and higher and higher. We can have levels if it cools off, if it goes down to a certain level. So even if I were to still pull out Nifty and if I were to just check the pivot points, I'll show you what the pivot has to say. 1 minute. This is a weekly chart that I have put on for you. Now the weekly support as per pivots is 23,193. So you can take it at 23,200. Okay, which is also like a strong base here. Very close to the strong base out here. 23,350 this is, but as per the R2 it is 23,200. R3 as per weekly pivot is at 25,093. With the pace at which Nifty is going right now, I don't see any reason why it's going to stop. No reason, unless and until we see something which happens all of a sudden. Other than that, Nifty is set to go higher and higher. There'll be some profit booking here and there, obviously, but it's going pretty crazy. I think actually can we have some 5 to 10% of our portfolio in some fundamentally good SME stocks, or is it dangerous? If you're a high risk taker, then yes. But if you're not a high risk taker, avoid. Okay. Do I have an exposure to SME stocks? Yes. Am I a high risk taker? Yes. All right, all right. Last question. Your view on Bharti Airtel, since the sector has seen a lot of limelight due to tariff hikes. We can see revival in Vodafone and Idea too. Absolutely. I mean, uh, like, I've discussed this in one of the previous streams as well, that it's very logical, right? If they are increasing the tariff rates, their ARPU is going to increase. That's going to be a big positive sign for the stock. It's very simple. If the ARPU increases, that's one of the key parameters for tracking any telecom stocks, average revenue per user. And if you compare the ARPUs in India globally, it's like at a terribly low level as compared to global players, right? So, I mean, if they are going to increase their tariffs, obviously top line is going to increase. That's going to be a positive sign for them. You had mentioned that your focus now would be on mental health. I'm associated with NIMHANS Bangalore. Any help you can bank on me? Thank you, Ranjit ji. I'm just doing some sort of meditation on Spotify right now. Hopefully, I don't need any more help, but thank you for offering your help, though. All right. I think this is it. Tomorrow, I'm mostly going to Mumbai. I have to start early. So, I'm sleep now. I'll see you on the next Thursday on the 11th. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye-bye.